Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are on episode 226 and it is my August haul video. I am surprised at how much actually gets to be revealed today because I was gone half of the month. So a couple of the items you may know about. The first thing I will reveal is we'll just do a revisit of. So let me get this pile of goodies off to the side. These are going to sit over here and probably be distracting for you. Here, I'll put this on top. So, if you follow my channel at all, you probably heard in August, oh hey, I've got a squirrel that is going to make the attempt to climb up our bird feeder pole. I have to give you guys the quick summary. He didn't make it very far. So we had in Washington State a bird feeder right outside our slider that we could watch. So I wanted the same thing here. So I have this bird feeder. Sorry, that's me hitting with a camera. And he took a 4-inch pipe that it's half rolled and you have to like put it together. And he puts it around the structure pole that's 3/4 inch, some sort of metal pipe. But a squirrel immediately shimmied up the 4-inch pole, even though it was really slick, and he painted it with shiny paint. So now there's this little squirrel. So we got rid of the 4-inch, replaced it with a 6-inch round, shiny, slick pipe that is like a wrap, and it's like a soft aluminum. I don't even know what it's really for. So we have this little squirrel that's sitting here sniffing and snurfling around in the rain because it's raining, and he went up the little bitty pole and couldn't figure out a way to get himself out to the 6-inch round slick pole, and I don't think a squirrel can do it. And I'm looking at the food. Nobody's been eating that food, and because for some reason there are no birds here. So we have this wonderful bird feeder and no birds right now. So that's my story. And of course, the squirrel, he's just going to stare at that pole and not have any luck. Okay, so when I was at my parents' and we pulled all of my stuff out of the attic, all of my crafting supplies, I found 2 Berol Prismacolor pencils from the 1980s. I graduated high school in 86, so it would have been when I was in college. And I remember that I still lived in a certain area, so it was probably 87 to 88 that I bought these 2 pencils. So I thought it would be fun to give them a family to live with. So I bought a used set of Berol Prismacolor. I did do a first look video at, I think, right when I came home. These were waiting for me. So then off video, I did some work and I wanted to share my final analysis of the Berol Prismacolors. That's actually the second sheet. I was going to try to get the count. So here is, if I do it sideways, my full collection. It's 18 per row. 2 rows is 36 through 7 through 8 through 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. And I received 52 pencils, and I already owned 2. So that's a total of 54 pencils. So this is the color array. I think it's a nice balanced palette for the slightly under 50 that it is. They all colored beautifully. I colored some cupcakes. When I got home, the last 3 cupcakes that I had worked on the cupcake page while I was at my hometown at my mom's packing our stuff. And so that's what they look like. And I'm going to share with you my sort order in the book and the extras. There's 5 extras. So I had 48, which is funny because 48 is exactly this set that I bought. is a 48 set. And I think I showed you, this is a color that's not even been sharpened. Somebody bought this henna PC 1031. It has the USA stamp, so this is circa 1990. And so I have 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54 total pencils, of which henna is a unique color that I haven't even sharpened to add to my swatch, and these 5 are dupes. So very happy. The question I then have to ask myself, being that I'm not really in a big pencil shopping mode right now, but there are a total from this era of 1986-ish, there's a total of 72 colors. So I don't even know if I care or if it's worth it for me to try to get the remaining colors, because I think what I found on eBay, and I did buy this set used on eBay. I am very happy buying used off of eBay. I've only had one really questionable experience, and I got a refund, and it wasn't even me asking for it. The seller didn't know what they were doing, and they offered it to me, which I appreciated. So the question with this set is, do I want more than 48? I am very happy with the few sets of pencils that I have, the smaller amounts. My Praying 50s work really well. I have just, part of this haul is a Holbein purchase that I'll talk about. And my smaller sets I'm actually okay with. I enjoy using them, even the Prismacolor 36, which I brought with me, I was happy using. So I don't know that I need a bunch of huge sets. I have plenty of big sets. Okay, so that's just a preview. Or not a preview. I guess it was just a revisit. Then from the Dollar Tree, we broke some glasses. They're these square, bumpy, textured glasses that I bought 7 of because that's all I could find. And over the time, they're very fragile. Hub has broke them, and when we got back, we were down to 4 from the 7, so he had broke 3, and he did a 2-for break in the sink. I heard the crash, and he's like, okay, we need to go to the Dollar Tree and get more cups or glasses. So I only bought 2, and that's because my husband packed most of our kitchen, which he's the kitchen guy, not me, and so he had packed our square heavy-duty glasses back in 2016, and there are 8 of them, and we decided not to sell them. We kept them. So I just got 2 of these, so we would have a total of 4, and all of our stuff is coming. I think it leaves Washington State on the 20th of this month. So when I was there, I have seen some videos about the new Crayola Fun packages of like the twistables and the crayons. So while I was at the Dollar Tree there to get those glasses, I picked up 3 sets. So again, these were $1.25 each. And I will tell you, I've already filmed this video, and I was swatching absolutely everything, and it took forever. I think it's an hour and a half long, and I'm like, nope, I am going to take the swatches that I did, and I'm going to do a shortened video and give you my thoughts. So $1.25 for these 3. These are very crumbly. I've tried to keep the crumbs on the page so you can see how crumbly they are, but here's the way I colored them. Metallic on the left, glitter down the middle, pearl on the right. I don't see anything but on the metallic ones. I only see what I think of as glitter. These little metallic here. Let me turn my light on and see if I can share with you so that you can see the little bits of glitter. So the specks in here that are metallic are small. The specks in here are like an AB iridescent, little bit larger but there's only like this black one. I only see 4, maybe 5. So they're not even metallic and glitter enough to be worth the effort. And the sheen, the pearls, they have a sheen that you can barely see. There's no sheen on this. This is just bright red. And this right next to it is like a muted, maybe with a tint of white in it that is actually probably some sort of mica, maybe even a mica substitute. So for me, these are a non-starter. I had bought 8 oil pastels, and I swatched those, and I showed you guys those. Same thing, non-starter. Unless I could use some sort of like a Gamsol, something that would liquefy these. I'm never going to use them. I don't even like the way they feel. To me, a pencil or a Copic marker or alcohol marker has a wonderful buttery soft feel. These do not feel that way. They're sticky and icky. So that was a fail. If anybody comes to the coloring class and they're curious about them, at least I have them available for people to explore. The next thing that I spent an inordinate amount of time revealing and swatching are the Sharpie Creative Brush and Bullet 12-pack for a total of 24, 12 of each. And I'm going to do one test with you today because I did test it in that long video, and I think it's very important that you see the behavior. So these were used. I bought them. I also, in addition to buying used off of eBay, you know that I buy used coloring books. Here, I'll get rid of that light now. So I bought a used something about okay condition, and the packaging had been damaged severely, and it was repackaged in other packaging, which means that the pens were probably used. That was 14 something, like 1423, and then that was the big bullet nib ones. I might have it backwards. And then the other set was 17. Both of these are in a drop-down list. Both are $19.99 each. So I'm always looking for a bargain, and I didn't even know if I would like them. So I thought I'm okay with getting them used. So this is my Sonicare toothbrush case that is the perfect size to hold all of them. And 2 interesting things to note. This has no color and no number, but it does say store horizontally. It says nothing about shaking, and I know I've watched videos on these, and to my recollection, they were not shake type pens. I thought both the bullet and the brush, so here's the brush. It is much more slender. It says store horizontally, and then in teeny tiny, you almost can't read it. For best results, shake before use. I thought both of these were non-shaker pens. However, there is a ball or two in there, at least one, and you can shake it. So the bullet is a very large bullet nib. It is soft. I am used to hard plastic nibs. The bullet nibs that come with the Copic regular square ones is a little bit harder than this, though it is foamy. And then I bought the super fine point nibs, so all of my regular Copics have been converted to the tiny hard plastic nib. So this feels different to me than what I'm used to. They write very large. It's a matte finish when it dries. I really like that matte finish. What I didn't like is the one test that I did where I had the black, and then you can see where I did white over the top of the black, and it contaminated my white. So I am curious if this is a blue one. I really don't want to mess with my white one anymore. And so what's interesting is there's a piece of artwork, a little card that I actually threw away that shows something like this. It shows Ironically, if you'll see, there's a green, a turquoise, and a teal. So if I take the teal and I start with the green and I draw a leaf. I fill it in. We're going to let this dry. So I'll talk about a couple of other things. Once that is done drying, I'm going to try to do what I saw advertised on that little card, which is that I then do lines through the middle and the veins. So we're going to do the veins, and I will move on and talk about the brush. So while that's drying, let's go. This is copy paper right here where I've drawn this leaf. This is the Nina Bristol Vellum. Here's where I also tried a little bit. Oh, this is where I was done with the white on the other page. I talked about the contaminating, did some brushing off, came over here, and the white was still contaminated. So very, very important to know that you cannot commingle. Even though this black over here was dry, the white picked up the black. I don't know if everybody knows that, because that's not what my little sample card shows. So we're going to do a test not using white and black. We're going to use green and teal and see if the same thing happens. It is wet enough that it will buckle the copy paper, but most people, if you're going to do some sort of crafty project, you're going to use some sort of a heavy-duty material, cardstock, and on the cardstock there was no rippling at all. So here's what they look like with the big bullet nibs, and then here is the colors, all 12 of them on black. Pretty good. The turquoise is you can see that the paint has a watered down look, especially when you do your rectangles. You can see it. The blue is probably the best color, and purple had the least amount of a watered down look. So again, I like the flat finish. I would use these. I do lots of art on wood, and these probably are good for painting rocks. Then I moved on and broke out the brush tip. Now I'm left-handed, which means all of those calligraphy and brush lettering notions, and I always wanted to be a brush letterist and a calligraphy. I even have sitting on my desk here is, my dream of someday doing lettering, but because I'm left-handed, my angles are wrong. So I've owned the fancy Japanese lettering brush pens, and I'm terrible. So here's my, don't judge me. I may be able to color and do drawings with colored pencil, but not only can I not write in a straight line, I was pretty good up here, but then with these brush pens, I was terrible. And they are very difficult to get consistent lines, and keeping the weight of each stroke consistent was near impossible. I hated them. I love the idea of a fine point, so if they ever came up with a fine point that's not brush, that is a hard nib, I would enjoy them and use them as I use my jelly rolls and my other gel pens, but these brush pens are wasted on me. And you got to remember to shake them. So the little ones are shake, the big ones are no shake. So let me go back to this leaf. And I'm gonna see if, now that it's dry, this is exactly what the artwork on that little, whatever, an advertising thing, probably showing you finished projects. I see no contamination. Maybe the idea is that you can do dark over light and it won't contaminate, but the white and black was not a good experience. So that's about all I can tell you about them. They're probably going to sit in a case, and if I'm ever doing any artwork that I'm going to fill in on wood. I do have like wood panels and things, and I've done some art for the walls here. I may use them, and I may just have them for people coming to the card or coloring. Again, kind of like the crayons, I'll just have them available in a test it area. When I do my coloring group, I like to put out on my tables, and I have a big bar area, and I like to lay out a variety of different crafty things that people may or may not be interested in pairing up with their coloring with the pencils. So that's that purchase. Put that aside. So I have talked about these purchases in the past as I received them. These are watercolor pans purchased from Temu, and I have a set of 3 full thickness quarter pans, and I have been using them enough to know that these solid colors are not colors I use, but I do use white, silver, gold, copper, and this bronze a lot. And these little iridescent ones came with half the height of the other ones, and somebody actually posted something on my comments of the video about it was pretty rude. It's like, I don't know why anybody would be rude and tell me that I was being overly picky. What did I expect buying something from Temu? And you know, my judgment about these is the fact that I bought these. I paid the same amount for these as I paid for this. Or no, I might have paid $2.50 for this. And this was $4. But look at how much more I got. So I feel, since I already bought things from Temu that I got like way more material for the price, that I can be a little judgmental. But these were a good test. I have my swatch sheet, and I numbered the backs. That's so funny that I numbered up here. But I'll know purple, pink, green, you know, orange, yellow, gold. So I've tested these enough to know that the colors that I mainly am interested in my coloring artwork is the metallics. So I have my Holbein 35, and I decided against pursuing a full set. So the reason why I decided against the full set is, number one, it's about $200 to $215 is usually what, like, the last 4 or 5 used sets that are complete sets that come in a case. They generally don't have the cardboard box ship with it. You just get the Holbeins in the case, and the Holbeins will be fairly well used. I only saw one sell used. 207 is what that went for, and I really was like, oh, I wish I would have bought it. But that's a lot of money. I'm on a fixed income, and I have to ask myself, do I really need a full set of Holbeins, or is there a subset that I can have, that I can use these in my coloring pages, in my daily color, and etc., and for comparison purposes? So I feel I have enough 50 and 72 sets that I am comfortable with only 50, and here's why. I had seen this. This is from SarahReneeClark.com. She did a conversion chart of the Holbeins with a variety of different sets that have some of the pastels. And I own 2 sets of the Brutfuner macarons. And I went ahead and added my own column. This is her filling in. I wanted to compare, because I don't own all of the Holbein pastels. I only own like a couple. Because in my set of 35, I believe the Horizon Blue is a pastel. There's only a couple of pastels on here. And probably Rose Pink is considered a pastel, and Surf Green. And that's it. So I only had 3 pastels. So I was very pleased that Sarah Renee Clark, thank you Sarah, for posting a fully fleshed out pastel conversion chart so that I could add my own printings. Now, I own 2 generations of the Brutfuner macarons, but both of them are older. So I do not know if the colors have since changed, but my second set is now my primary set that I use for daily color. And these numbers are a little bit different, and there is, like right here, this 222 and 0112, that's very limey, and that is not. It's kind of more seafoamy. And so this original of my old set is probably closer to the Holbein set, and I didn't bother to pull those out. I have those set up for a specific purpose. So I feel that these are close enough to the Holbeins when I use them. I love these. These are probably my favorite of all favorite budget sets. That in my mind, I have 100 Holbeins to play with because all of these colors so closely match. There's another one that's not a close match, but for the most part, I can look at this chart and 90% of them are going to match, which gives me, in essence, 100 Holbeins, or the feeling of using 100 of them. So that's my, we can always justify whatever our decisions are. So that's how I justified purchasing these. Why they were even interesting to me after I decided I was not going to pursue a used set for around $200. And I was not going to buy, I can buy a brand new set from Japan for $230-ish plus $16 shipping. So if I really was going to go and get the whole set, I would probably buy them from Japan and have a new set. But again, I like saving $50 and taking, I kind of feel like I am like the pencil rescue person, where I take in pencils that other people either didn't like or no longer use. I am happy to take them and give them a good home. So with the Holbeins I had from Plaza Art, they were $2.98 a piece. And no sales tax. I had to get the amount to be $69. So because I had at this point used a lot of these watercolors, enough to know that I'm really only using the core metallics. These other colors, never. And I use these in more than coloring. I use them a lot in card making. I splatter my cards all the time. It is one of my favorite things to do. I was going to see if I have a card nearby. Oh, hey, look at what I found. Here, let's go back. Sorry. I thought I threw this away. If you go back to the creative mark, the Sharpie Creatives, see their samples show you coloring on top of another color. And that's where I let the black dry, and then I use the white over the black. See, it's even kind of sort of showing white over the blue, and I would question that. I just don't think that's a good idea. So anyhow, this is why I wanted to do color on color with you guys, to see if the middle colors don't bleed, and they don't seem to. So let me show you my main purpose for the metallics is actually for card making. And if you look at, if I bring my light back here, I splattered white and silver all over this. I hope it's hard for me to see. There we go. I see some. So this is my typical use for the watercolors. So in my supplies, I have some ink that I used to use, but I'm running low on that ink, and I actually now only have champagne, which is white. No, champagne isn't white. I have the white and the champagne is a very pale gold, which is why I bought these to begin with, because I wanted the darker, and the silver. I didn't have any silver. So given that I've owned those little sets for a year and a half maybe, and I needed to get more value in my cart from Plaza Art, I found some actual watercolors on sale. And I bought every metallic and iridescent that they have. I know that I already have plain watercolors as well that I can mix. So I paid $4.10 per tube. You can look at the volume of these tubes. I believe that these are just your basic metallics minus silver. And this, I believe, was $4.46. And so that's how much came. And these tubes are absolutely going to fill this pan more than once. So they're also Windsor and Newton Cotman watercolors. I don't think that's a high-end. Somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these might be a student grade, maybe. But me, for what I use them for with adding little accents or splattering on cards, I think that these 4 colors, the pewter is the silver, I believe. It's called pewter, yellow, gold, bronze, red copper, light blue, and iridescent. And I can mix these 2 in with any other colors. Even the pewter, I think, is kind of a neutral, adds some metallic to any painting. So I bought those 6, and then in preparation for them, I created my own little, so I have these little cases. So I found an Altoid can, we love our Altoids, and I just added some pretty foil cardstock, rounded, punched the corners, used my label maker, Windsor Newton Cotman Metallics Iridescent, and I believe I've already shown this. I have a set of half pans that I've already put magnets on. The pans and the magnet sheets came from Temu. I still have a ton of the magnet sheets. I probably have a lifetime supply of these magnet sheets, how I plan to use them, which is for small projects. I do not use them, if you're curious, I do not use them for my dies. My dies just get taped to heavy white cardstock. And this is what, it's a very thin magnet that has adhesive on the back of it. So I've got my 6. I have my little case for them. All I have left to do now is to punch the hole. Usually when you have these, oh, actually they're already ready to go. So I will be able to squeeze them into the pans, and then those will sit and air dry and be ready to go. So I believe I have visited everything that I purchased last month. Like I said, it wasn't all that exciting. I was very busy with family stuff the whole time. So I am going to stop the video now. And then I'm going to start up immediately for a second look at Holbein's with these beautiful new colors. And I need to integrate them with in my 50 case. I have to take these all out, and I'm all prepared to do that, and I need to redo my swatches. So I thought I would do that with you guys. So I will be back shortly to film that episode. I hope you will be able to join me. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.